What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're all doing well today. Today, I'm really excited to be bringing you my full review of the Damned designed Hades. The Hades has a 3.65 inch 14C 28N blade steel. They have done a really good job with these. This is my second one from them with 14C 28N. Whoever is doing their manufacturing, whoever the OE is doing a really good job. 4.7 inch titanium handles, overall length 8.1 inches, really good length for EDC. Claimed weight on the knife is 4.9 ounces. Let's go ahead and give that a weigh and check out how it compares to the claimed weight. There we go. I think you can see it. Yep, there you go. Whoa, did I read that right? Hold on, let me get back to my notebook real quick and make sure that I read that right, because that is way off. Damn design Hades, 4.9. What did I say? I think I said 4.1. It was 4.9 coming in at 5.5. They had that weight listed with both the S35EN and the 14C. So I don't know if there's any type of density variances there. Could be grind variance, could be thickness and stock. Anything like that can cause a swing from 4.9 to 5.5. So there is a little bit of a difference. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and bring out some of my comparison knives. And I know that's blending in and I really apologize, but I don't want to swap out anything right in the middle of the review. So we're going to keep on. First, I'm going to do my comparison knives, then we'll do some comparables, and then I'll give you my thoughts and impressions on this knife. First up, the Spyderco Yojimbo 2, which I think is a really good comparison. This is the DLT trading exclusive with the 20CV. We're going to move these up just a little bit. I think I've done this in another video where I put it a little too low. The next knife that I'm going to bring out for the comparison is going to be the other Spyderco that I keep out here, the Shaman with the dark matter fat carbon scales. Got those from Carbonized over on Instagram. His name is Spencer. He's a great guy. As you can see here, it's closer in size to the Yojimbo 2, but it has a similar shape and presence to the Shaman. All right, let's get these out of here, and we'll go ahead and bring out my bucket lives. My crossbar lock knives. First up is going to be the Benchmade Bug Out, which is just completely smaller overall, and this knife I think is also a really good comparable, is going to be the SIG K320 made by Hogue. I think the presence of the Hades is a little bit smaller than the SIG, but I think like that type of presence and how it feels in hand is very similar to the SIG, and the Bug Out has no comparison other than a size reference if you're familiar with the Bug Out to see where that one lands. Last but not least is the budget knives. First up is going to be the Kubi Royal, the KU321, which is much smaller, as you can see here. And then the Sativian ST122, which is going to be a little bit longer, but really not too comparable as far as the knife design and the shape. This is more Warncliffey, more closely shaped blade wise and functionality, with the flipper tab and everything to the Royal, and then the handle is really not going to compare to either one of these. A couple of quick comparable knives that I'd like to bring out here that I think compare really well is going to be my Urban EDC Supply F5.5. Even though it is smaller, it does kind of have that pocket tank feel to it. Another knife that I think compares really well is going to be my Concept Convict. I think this one here really compares well. And then the last knife that I'll say kind of compares very similarly to me as far as a pocket tank is going to be my Chavez Redención Street. That one to me kind of has that pocket tank vibe as well. And actually there's one more knife that I think might compare really well to it. It's going to be out of left field because it's different materials, but I think the Mini Adamas also kind of gives you that mini pocket tank type vibe. When you're holding these in hand, they have that kind of thick, ready to be used hard feel to them, and then they have the performance that kind of backs that up in my mind. The last knife that I want to bring out here, because I actually plan to do a showdown with this knife, and pardon me, I am in the middle of doing some mods on this one, so it is not quite in its finished state, but that is going to be the Tucson TS255. I want to go back and kind of finish. I started to go back and do a little bit of the side to side rub on the acid etch that I had going on, and I'm trying to finish out the jimping on the back of the spine there, but I think that one's going to be a very interesting budget titanium battle. I really am looking forward to that. So let's get into this knife a little bit. We'll start with the blade. I really do like the Wharncliffe-ish, clip point-ish type shape to it. From a function perspective, it's very usable, and you don't have to get really high up to get to that tip. It's still quite comfortable when you get out on the tip, and if you choke up with the middle finger, you can get that finger out on the tip and really get into some detailed work, which is really quite nice. Then when you pull back, you're still really close to the blade, close to the point where I love the fact that they gave you a little bit of a sharpening choil. It is a little close to the plunge grind, but is still a sharpening choil nonetheless. It is super comfortable in hand. I wasn't sure with the Hades how this was going to feel back here, but because it's just the one, and it's not like, I think some knives like to put the hump here and put these fingers out, but the fact that it has the thickness back there for the pinky and the ring finger, and it actually ends up feeling really, really nice. I like that a lot. The stone washing on the blade and on the handles is really well done, really nice, and it actually feels like it gives it kind of a tacky feel. I wouldn't say textured, but kind of like a tackiness to it, because it's not smooth, so it feels like it gives it a little bit of a edge on grip. I also like the fact that they threw this little insert on the show side to keep everything flush and seamless looking. As you get further away, it looks less and less apparent that it's there. That is really well done, and I like that because it allows you to reverse the pocket clip, which is good for lefties. It has a really well done pocket clip. I wasn't sure about that clearance, but it actually goes in and out of the pocket really, really well. And it's very springy, so it pops up on that ramp very easily to go in and out of the pocket. So I do like this pocket clip. They did a good job with this. The lanyard hole, you're going to need some type of tool or like a thin string to start any type of paracord or leather to go through that. That is going to be a tough sell there, unless you want to take the bolts loose and lift it up and kind of fish it through that way. I mean, it looks like you could, but someone that has done that can let you know. I am not a lanyard person, so I'm not messing with it at all, and it came really well tuned for the factory, so again, not messing with it. As you can see on the inset liner side, you have some milling, and then let me see if I can get a good shot with the lighting. You got much more milling on the show side. So it does help a little bit with the weight, thank goodness, because coming in at 5.5 on the claim 4.9, a little bit heavier than I thought, but it carries good in pocket. I mean, you can tell the weight's there, but it's not awful when I'm wearing them with my jeans or I'm wearing them with non-basketball shorts, like regular cargo shorts or khaki shorts or whatever. Carries really well. The flipper tab jimping is going all the way around. So it starts on the top and goes all the way to the side. And the reason they do that, if you want a push button, you can, but it feels a little sluggish to me with the push button. I think it reacts better to the flip. It feels much more crisp than it does for the push button. Probably doesn't look like it on camera. I'm just telling you how it feels. The flipper tab works really well. It works great with the thumb. The opening for me is just enough for me to get my thumb there and go straight up to flip it out. And then the reverse flick works really well to kind of go straight out as well. I imagine that you could even come up here with the reverse flick, and get into that corner and go up instead of going out down here on the bottom. So either way works really well. The 14C28N is done really well. It does cut through materials quite nicely. Might have some paper out here still from the other day when I was messing around with a different video. So you can see, it slices through the material without much resistance. Paper cuts don't really tell you a whole lot about how that's going to perform against something, say, like cardboard or rope or thicker materials, but it is really slicey and it has very little resistance. Feels very thin behind the edge, and it feels pretty thin getting up here. It gets thick pretty quick, but because it's a taller blade, it does divide the material and separate it as it's going through it. So it performs really well. The best part about this knife, the 14C28N, as of the making of this video with the titanium inset liner lock, which I'll come back to that in just a second, is $110. You heard me right, $110 to get 14C28N, get a bunch of fidget factor, bearings, so really good smooth action opening and closing, and really thick, well done titanium. I feel like you're getting a lot, and you get a titanium backspacer, so I feel like you're getting a lot for your money. And I even think the pocket clip is titanium. Let's see. Yep. So you're even getting a titanium pocket clip. Let's see here. Is this? Oh, the steel. It's picking up the liners. Yeah, because back here it's not getting anything. Yeah, the bolt is titanium. That insert's probably steel. I mean, the bolt's steel, and the plate is probably steel. And you do have a little bit of steel in the pivot, and it is a steel liner. So now let's talk about that price. I don't think I need to really emphasize anything more on that price. I think that is a really awesome price because you're getting, you know, from a smaller manufacturer that's probably running less volume. You're getting really well done 14C28N, and you're getting titanium inset, which from an ambidextrous standpoint is really nice because that's so smooth. You can put your finger wherever you want to get whatever type of action you want. And this is a really good price. Really good price, but they also have it available in S35 yen for $130. That is awesome. What a fantastic price you're getting on a extremely well made damned design knife. Like, this premium version is bananas. It is just bonkers. So access to that liner lock is really nice. It is knocked down well. It is also got jimping here, so it's really grippy. It's not overly done, but it does give plenty of detent to work well with both that flipper tab and the thumb hole. So just fantastic action. This is a extremely recommendable knife. The Hades is a fantastic size for me for EDC. I love them when they're in that 7 1/4 to 7 3/4 inch range, but this one just being right at 8 inches really feels still pretty compact. I'm really happy with that. Let me bring another knife out here that is kind of in that range that I like. So this one here is going to be a little bit smaller, but as you can see, handle length, it's very similar. But because the blade and the pivot, it's so tight and close to the pivot, you see how far back the pivot is on the AD 20.5? That's to accommodate this lock system, right? So the blade has to be shorter, but they want the handle long enough to be comfortable in hand. And then the way that the blade shape sits in here is a little bit different. So they are able to do a really good job when you start to close these knives and getting it down into that really nice carry size. So you can see, let's try to, I think that's pretty close. So you can see, I think I got them pretty lined up here, and like right about there, you can really get a sense that the Hades really does carry really nicely, really nice height. And again, just from side to, it's hard to hold it like that. Let me try it like that. And hard to hold it like that and you be able to see it. So you can see here on the right, I think I'm pretty lined up. On the left, you can see the Hades just sticks out just a touch. So really good carry presence. The AD 20.5 is definitely one of my favorite carry sizes, really thin. Good profile, good shape. And then I think I didn't I bring the Convict out here earlier? There's another one. This one here is going to be tough because it is really compact, and it is shorter overall, and it's a much thinner knife. I know I didn't do the profile on this. I probably should have with those budget knives, so I'll do that really quick as I wrap up. You know, if you did enjoy this video, do me a favor, if you could, leave a like for me. I really appreciate all the support out there from you all. It means the world to me. Consider subscribing, turning on your notifications if you did enjoy the content and it did help you with your decision on the damn design. Having said all of that, I appreciate the support. I really do. And I hope all of you have a fantastic week. Until next time, peace.